Screen time salutations to all you internet dwellers out there, and welcome to another episode of Screen Time Continuum. I am Nick, and I am joined, as always, by Keelan. How's it going, bro?
It is going marvelous on this Odin's Day. Marvelous.
Marvelous indeed. And we got Dijon here, the mustard. What's going on, man?
Nothing much. Just trying to get through this Odin/Hump Day.
Yeah, the hump day it is, and we're towards the end of it, so that's good, right? Yeah,
hump episode, and that's what I
think. Oh, very true.
Oh my gosh.
This is the Wednesday of episodes for sure. But before we get into that, guys, thank you so much for listening. We very much appreciate it. Please consider leaving us a comment while we're live, and we'll be sure to respond to you. Hopefully in a timely manner, but definitely by the end of the episode, we will be responding to comments. So if you have anything to say, please let us know, and you'll be featured at the end of the episode. Please also consider giving us a thumbs up and perhaps a subscription to our YouTube channel, Screen Time Continuum on YouTube. That would help us out a lot. But without further ado, it is Loki episode 3, and we're here to talk about it. So here's your spoiler warning. Spoilers. This is going to be a discussion about the third episode of Loki. If you do not want to be spoiled for what happens in this episode, please turn back now. Or better yet, go watch it and then come back and watch this.
Or as Martin would say, get to stepping.
Or get to stepping. Fair enough, yes. Or if you don't mind being spoiled, or if you've seen it, please continue this journey with us, and we hope that you enjoy this episode. All right, gentlemen. Let's start with Dijon first. Loki episode 3. Overall thoughts.
I'm gonna be like that black dude from Not Another Teen movie. It was whack. Damn.
Shit was whack.
I like it. Okay. That's what you got. Just first off the bat impressions. Whack.
Fuck.
All right. Fair.
Jesus Christ. It was boring. It was boring as hell. There was a little bit of things that was like cool, but I was just wow. I was bored out of my mind. I think this was like the worst episode out of any of the Marvel streaming shows that have been there. And what I've noticed that with number 3 for each of these series, it's like number 3 is the worst. Mm-hmm. And I guess this cycle is just right there. And it's funny because I did mention this in one of our last shows that most people that have watched the third episode, that's when they're just either they nodded off or they just said, you know what, I'll watch this later. And I can see why with this episode.
Yeah, that's definitely fair. Keelan, what are your thoughts, man?
Oh, man. My first thought is I wish I didn't think so hard about this episode. Yeah, I shared Dijon's sentiment of this shit was whack. This shit was like there was a lot of information that really made me like get excited in different moments. I thought they were gonna string the cheese, so to speak, and they just melted the whole thing like fondue, and it went down fast.
Yeah, instead of stringing our cheese, they shucked our peas. And,
there we go. There we go.
Nobody likes that.
Right. Nobody likes shucking peas. And I've actually shucked peas, and trust me, I would rather string cheese.
Yes.
But if I had to take any positives, I'll give them here. There was some hope in this episode, but that glimmer of hope was shot down by, in my opinion, just bad timing. I'll say that. I'll run with that. Bad timing.
Interesting. Yeah. And we'll definitely jump into a little bit more detail going forward. But my overall impressions are in line with you guys. And this happened to me last episode. I said that I was kind of bored, but at least Owen Wilson was in the last episode, and he seemed to bring a lot of levity to the show, and it's very stark to notice that that levity just wasn't there. Even when Loki and Sylvie are trying to be, bantery with each other. It just doesn't come off as good. It just felt very like, okay. And I don't know. There's just two Lokis is too many Lokis for me. I could barely stand one at this point. I don't need two. I don't know.
Well, she doesn't want to be a Loki. I want to figure out what that's about, but I don't know if this is the kind of show that will tell you those kind of things. But I do want to save this episode for Disney really quick. I got their back. Watch this.
Okay.
Wow. Done. That's all we needed. Just one of those.
Bring Owen Wilson back. Bring him back, damn it. Yeah. I mean, honestly, I didn't necessarily think that there was a whole lot to be gained in this. I was telling Dijon before we got on, this was a bottle episode for me. Yeah. Like this did not progress the plot anymore, except to give you a little bit. Actually, they didn't give us any information about what the plan for Sylvie is, what her plan is. We still don't know that. So it actually gave us nothing. It gave us a situation in which two Lokis had to talk to each other and then gain each other's trust, and then
it was actually funny because Loki actually pokes fun of that in the episode where it's like, hey, man, I've been telling you all about myself, and I don't know nothing about you and your grand plan and what's going on.
Right. Mm-hmm. That's true. Yeah. It is. Maybe that is the writers giving a little bit of a nod, or at least maybe they're letting themselves off the hook for not wanting to disclose anything about Sylvie. And see, I think that might be a fatal flaw too, because now I just don't really care. I don't care about her. You should have given us this time to let us know about her.
That's what I thought this episode was going to be.
Me too. I mean, we know about the Loki. We know about Tom Hiddleston's Loki. We don't need to know any more about him. As I said, if he doesn't show up for the next 3 episodes, I'll be fine with that. Honestly,
we need an all Owen Wilson episode, and I'm figuring that's going to be a TVA history episode. I expected once again, disappointed. I expected to get more on the I guess I got a little bit more on the TVA, so I can't say totally disappointed. I expected this to be a TVA. Like, they jumped into the portal together. Mm-hmm. Tell me what's going on with Mobius. What's going on with Renslayer, who actually... Okay, no, we got a little Renslayer in this. But what is going on with what the other one was? A19 or...
A20.
A20, thank you. Mm-hmm. What is going on with all of that? Where are they at? And if I get just that as episode 4 of 6, that was supposed to be at least half of this episode.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd actually be happy to have a cleanup episode after this one, because this one
that's exactly my point. That's exactly, like, I feel like they've now wasted time. I gave them a lot of leeway, in my opinion, and episode 2 was not much better than this.
I know, yeah.
So it's like I gave them a lot of leeway, in my opinion, thinking, okay, they're building us up for the Big Bang. We got some hand-to-hand combat. When that got too interesting, let's jump out the window.
Right.
What?
Yeah. Well, and let's be fair. It's not that it got too interesting. It's that both of those actors don't know how to fight. True. And they can't choreograph those two actors because they were never meant to fight. Like,
factual.
I don't know about you guys, but it looked so weird to see Tom Hiddleston trying to fight people. He weighs like $120 soaking wet.
Yeah, I figured we weren't in the Loki the Loki show anymore. We were just enjoying the action, so I was running with it.
Yeah, no, I get that, but it just kind of like, it also didn't fit very well to just have Loki fighting people hand to hand like that. He's never done that before.
Yeah, it felt better when he gave that side blast, which threw me off because I was like, wait, when did he get that?
Yeah, but why haven't you been using that this whole time?
That would have been a great way to get the Hulk up off you.
Right. Yeah.
Brothers are Hulk tickles.
Yeah.
Hulk tickle. Well, but I will say this. The first 3 or 4, I don't know why I was going to say 6, but the first 3 or 4 scenes where they're going through it and you're finding out how she got the information. No, okay, it's maybe the first 2 scenes where you're finding out Randy got the information by going into C20's brain and blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. I thought that was really cool to show how that goes down, how she does that. Yeah. But to make the entire episode a slow version of that, only to get to the end for her to tell Loki, oh, this is how I do it. We already saw how you do it. You don't have to tell him.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you're just kind of like wasting time a little
And then
bit.
3 minutes they did it, and then they said, you know what? Let's do it for another 30.
Oh my god, oh my shit, you're mad. This episode pissed you off.
Am I sorry? I'll reel it in.
No, this is good.
It's fucking it was irritating. I was really irritating. But so from where we started, it was just like she's able to get all the information she needs on timekeepers. She explains to him how she does it way at the end. What is all the stuff in between for?
Oh, and furthermore, information that we didn't even get to hear.
That too, yes. Information we didn't get to hear. So we still know nothing about the timekeepers.
Yeah.
Only thing we know is there's golden doors. And then she got to the golden doors, and that's where Loki was.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I will say this. I was a little disappointed in Renslayer. I expected that to be more of a showdown. Something a little crazier. There should have been some way for them to block the Timapad. I forget what it's called. Telepad? Tempad?
Tempad, yeah.
Yeah. There should have been a way to block that from inside the TVA. You're the TVA.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's your device.
Yeah, they were wearing helmets that kept them from being enchanted for some reason. How did they not?
The magic doesn't work in there.
Oh yeah, the magic doesn't work in the TVA. I forgot about that. That let me know that was Randy's first time in the TVA. So it was too easy for it to be her first time.
Yeah,
and it was too hard for them to even fluster her plan just a little bit. Had Loki not shown up, she'd already be sitting in paradise, kicking the timekeepers in the butt and shoving pineapples up their ass like Hitler.
Yeah, no, it is true. I mean, and that is kind of what I thought as well. Like, first of all, she takes out eight soldiers just because. I mean, like, they didn't even put up a fight. Like, there was zero fight coming from anybody. Like, at least give her a little bit of a struggle. And then she kicked Loki's ass, and I'm like, okay, well, is Loki going to do anything? And then finally, after 3 episodes, Loki starts using his powers for something useful. And you know what's so funny? I had no idea he had some of those powers. You know why? Because he never uses them.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. They had a really great opportunity when they end up with these two on this apocalypse planet. Lamentations one, Lamentis.
Lamentis.
Yeah, it reminded me of Lamentation, so I'm running with it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's like, first off, as soon as they get, you don't know, you bring us to Lamentis 1. How do you know what this is?
Yeah. Oh, you know why? Because she's been to all of the
apocalypses. Yeah, we did discuss this last. Right. You're right.
But she actually specifically said that nobody escapes this one, so she hasn't been to this one. She just knows about it.
Perhaps.
Yeah.
Perhaps. But so even so, clearly no one gets off because they still don't get away.
Yeah.
My question is, and my issue is this: am I the only one who feels like if you're gonna give them this whole new planet, all of this space, let them run free for a while, at least leave them stuck there, jump to something else, come back, and then we find out they couldn't make it off. Don't make it an entire 47 minutes.
You know what would have been cool? If the temp pad had malfunctioned and froze time on that planet.
That would have been awesome.
Then you could have had all the time in the world to let the characters actually breathe and let them do something, except, instead of, I don't know, trying to sneak on the ark or something.
Yeah.
That they knew was going to blow up anyways. Like, I don't know.
I think we get into this point where I will not be surprised. Episode 4 will be a TVA history. Episode 5, a TVA history of like certain characters running off of what she said about basically
everybody's a variant.
So only Mobius and Renslayer?
I think they're all variants because I think it makes perfect sense. Because what was bugging me was like, how the hell you gonna have a Loki variant that goes through doing what he or she does, or what she does, I guess, and she's basically explaining that she grew up differently from this Loki without there being different timelines, and you tell me there's only one sacred timeline? No, It has to be different timelines that accumulated. That's not accurate, and I think they're keeping that a secret.
Right.
And there probably is a secret war going on through different universes. It's like, come on, think about what we just seen with WandaVision.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The whole Nexus book.
Right. You know, I definitely do not think that there's only one timeline. I think the sacred timeline is the sacred timeline, and there's a bunch of others. I also have a theory on Randy. I think she doesn't like to be called Loki because once she was a Loki in her timeline, then she was a variant turned into a TVA agent who found out the truth and went rogue. And that's why she's such a high commodity. And that's why she knows so much about what they do, but not exactly, you know, all the secretive stuff, because she didn't really get high up the ladder.
See, I would buy that, except for the fact that she didn't know magic didn't work in the TVA.
You're right. I said that too. Yeah, that's where that. You're right. That's actually where that went bad for me. I should have wrote that in my notes to remember.
I mean,
but yeah, that's where that got debunked for me as well. You're right.
I mean, that would have been an interesting sort of piece, but that would have had to been fleshed out too, you know?
Right. Well, that makes me think that Mobius is the TVA Loki, but another conversation.
Well, I mean, I don't know if we're seeing any twists in this. It seems very straightforward that the climax of the show is going to be a confrontation with the Timekeepers
and the Lokis.
And, you know, then creating the multiverse, or, you know, unleashing the multiverse, perhaps it's being imprisoned by the Timekeepers. I don't know. But I don't know. Like, do you need 3 more episodes to do that? It seems like because they were literally at the door of the end goal in this episode. And the only reason that they didn't make, like you said, the only reason they didn't make it is because of confiscation.
To tell you the truth, this would have been better off as a fucking Phase 4 movie.
Agreed.
Oh wow, yeah.
Yeah. Actually, you know what? You're right. They could have condensed a lot of this, I think.
We could have fell asleep for this 30 minutes and then they could have made it in 2.5 hours. We would have been fine with that. I would have been fine with that.
Can Black Widow, or they should have showed Black Widow.
Black Widow should be a show.
Yeah.
That should be a show. Think about everything. The I forget what it's called, but the house for the girls where they get trained, and then her family story and
the Cold
War. That should be a show.
All of that stuff. Yeah. Yeah.
Find out she's older than Steve.
Right.
All this shit takes place like right after Civil War.
Right. Look, this is me. Early spoilers for those who don't know.
I'm just saying they're doing a movie right after Civil War, and I'm like, we already know her fate. Why begin this? Yeah. We should have got this shit
before.
Yeah.
How much better would her death been if you'd just seen a movie about her? You know? Yeah.
I think that glorious. Yes, I'm saying that. I'm using that. For those who haven't heard that in a while, just look it up.
But yeah, so I don't know. There's not much that happens in this episode. They get they get stranded on Lamantis, where they try to get to an arc. I think that the style was pretty cool. The idea, the concept, the color hues that they used, I enjoyed. But then I noticed that in the outskirts of Lamantis, before they get to the city, they were definitely recycling Mandalorian shelters. I swear to you that I guarantee you that one the lady is in with the gun.
Yeah.
That had to have been in Tatooine in a Mandalorian episode. I swear it looks exactly the same. Yeah.
And why not? I mean, they own it all.
Yeah, that would have been fine. It's just, it also seems like they're putting very little effort into this show. Like, it's all on green screen and there's very little set pieces, and we'll get to that part.
Oh gosh. We're going to find out in 5 years that they were running a test trial on us. and this is the equivalent of the Iron Fist.
Oh, dude, no. They want to kill Iron Fist. They're not even thinking about bringing them back.
Danny Rand is wrapped.
Keep this shit. Fuck all that.
Danny Rand. Yeah, but you know what? How about this? Had they done the Iron Fist series like they did this and just gave it 1 season and been done, they might have been all right. Maybe.
Yeah.
Their fault.
Oh, I'm sorry. I had trouble with the Iron Fist series. That was hard. Dude.
Oh, I'm not saying that this first season was great or perfect. I'm saying
they had to recast too. Loris Tyrell is not a good Danny Rand.
or a good Loris Tyrell.
Or fair enough.
And the worst part about it, he did
Yeah, he was
not
pretty
do
good
any of the choreography. He just come in and be like, "What's up?"
Yeah, of course. He had a stunt double and all that.
I'm sorry. It was I had that visual of the sup. All right, let's go, guy.
That was probably him, and I'm looking at Carl. That's why for me, Daredevil was always going to be the best. Sorry,
Because Ben Affleck actually did somersaults.
Fuck all that. His shit. He needs to stay away from the superhero game altogether. Charlie Cox, dude, he played the perfect blind dude, and he was perfect at fighting in fucking hallways.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah. I mean, the choreography of Daredevil is much better than this, so I won't even contest that. But let's see. Let's move on through. Is there anything that's notable about their journey in to the arc? I don't know.
It was stale as fuck.
It was pretty stale. It was really just the discussion they had of the journey. The way she enchants, how she gets information. For Loki to be able to learn that TVA agents weren't always TVA agents, and some of them were on Earth and in different places before, and then they were variants.
That was like literally the last scene before the last scene. It was the second to last scene. So was there anything before?
Oh, you're right. You're right. That was.
I'm just asking.
I mean, there was an incredible. Like I said, there was that. I ain't gonna say incredible. There was that fight scene. They came up with the idea to hijack the art, and from there it was pretty much them running and agreeing that they trusted each other. It was about 5 minutes of that, solid minutes of them running in a circle around the same set pieces, as we all noticed already.
Yeah,
this is still as fuck. This was just a complete filler. It was like no chemistry, no good information, nothing.
I think there was some moderate chemistry, severely moderate, but moderate.
You know what I'll say though? I will say I am interested in Sylvie, but the show will not let me know her. I'd like to get to know her better, but this whole I'm just a badass and I'm not gonna ever give you any. I'm not gonna tell you about me because I'm too cool for that and I don't trust you.
Cool. Well, you got to know she knew about herself being adopted.
She did.
Cool, I guess.
And her mother hated her husband.
Yeah.
So you
her mother hated Thor? Or not Thor, Odin.
You're like, no, that's a lie. She hated his ass.
Do you think that was her mom that shot at them?
No, that was some random.
No, assumingly her mother is a different Freya.
Yeah, it's kind of very.
You would think so, but that's what I'm saying. So she was talking about the.
He got stuck in a sneeze. Hopefully it'll come back.
That's the TVA.
Yeah, it is the TVA. They stopped him with the temp pad. He'll come back in a sec. But no, I honestly, I was trying to think of things before that revelation about the variants, and I just could not think of anything. So I guess that's the most important thing that happens in this episode, right? Is that the variants are people, or the people at the TVA are variants.
Yeah, and basically that's what they were the most, and it seems like they wiped their minds too. Because it was like the whole thing about digging through her memories just to get certain things out of her.
Right. Yeah. Well, and so I mean, I think we'll probably get more of that at some point. I mean, I'm sure we're going to get an explanation as to it. Do you think it's the timekeepers that are wiping people's memories too?
I think so. Alternating their timeline, even probably wiping their timeline just to keep them for their own purposes.
Yeah. Interesting.
So, I mean, I sincerely think episode 4 is going to be that episode that sincerely explains that, which I'm like Keenan said, hey, episode 3 can sincerely been both of those things in one to make it much more interesting.
Oh, yeah, it seems like it's a no-brainer that episode 4 is going to be about Mobius trying to find Loki while this is happening, and then at some point they're going to save. It's going to be a Deus Ex Machina to save both of them at the end. You know, like I think the end of episode 4 is going to be literally Mobius walking through a portal to grab Loki before the end of the world on Lamentus.
Yeah, and maybe because something interesting. I was thinking, well, I try to think about what has happened in the trailers that we've seen. Sorry about that.
No, you're good.
And what I've noticed, like, all right, I've seen basically most of everything that's been shown in the trailers. So
Yeah.
I'm like, when are we going to get to that point where you see other historical figures with Loki, and he's like, "Hey, Loki for president."
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, I mean, so there's, I guess there's a potential for some more time hopping, but who knows?
Or that can be like the ending, like, "Oh, you disappeared. Hey, I couldn't help myself. Boom."
Right.
Season 2. Oh, fuck.
Season 2.
Oh
no.
my god. Fuck.
No, we don't need a season 2. That's for sure.
I don't.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I was trying to think of like, and then obviously they're at the city where the Ark is. This Ark is trying to take everybody away because this planet is crashing down on them, which was cool, but also extremely unrealistic because I think at one point you see this giant meteor just come down really, really slowly and gently into the ground. I was like, wait, but why though? Like, but yeah, that whole set piece in I don't even know what you call it, the cyberpunk Lamentis world, because it is in 2077, so this could be on the same cyberpunk timeline.
I just noticed that too.
Yeah. but that set was so small, man. It was literally a box. You could tell that they were just in a box and they were running from corner to corner.
It seemed like they reused some shit from like Guardians of the Galaxy set.
Oh yeah, that's a good call.
That's not being used.
Yeah, you know what that is? That is true. I guarantee you, like maybe even like the Collector or Thor Ragnarok. You know, the same sort of like the junk planet that they were on. Yeah,
fucking green screen for half the movie. And then
green screen. Yeah, I know.
Because I know the TVA, that whole elevator scene, that area is legitly shot in Atlanta, a place in Atlanta. So I'm like, one location, green screen shit, and recycle shit.
Right. I mean, I would assume that they're shooting the entire thing in Atlanta on a soundstage then. Yeah. Which I mean, I guess is fine, but I obviously being old, I like practical effects. So I don't know. I just can't get in it when it like you can obviously see like the super, the superimposing of an actor against a green screen. It's like, I mean, like, look, like you right now looks almost as good as what they looked like in the show. Sans the blurring of the background.
And I pay $8.99 a month for that.
Yeah, right, exactly.
For sure. And going back to certain things, I'm like, I think that's what I can appreciate for the first movie of the Star Wars trilogy. Everything else, kiss my ass.
Yes, fair. Yeah.
I don't know. Is CGI and practical shit like this cheaper, or practical effects are more expensive than CGI itself now?
I mean, that definitely could be possible. We might be seeing that sort of crossover at this point. But like even like the have you seen the and this is going a little bit off topic, but we'll continue once Keelan comes back. He's going to be back in a second. But have you seen the way that they shoot the Mandalorian in that round like screen room? So it's not a green screen. It's actually just like a movie screen that's projecting images.
Actually, no. Tell you the truth, I didn't jump into the Mandalorian as quick as I should have. I sincerely didn't jump into that until actually season 1 and 2 was done. Because after Rise of Skywalker, I sincerely wanted to take a break from the Star Wars franchise for quite a bit.
Yeah, no, I understand that for sure. It definitely put a foul taste in everybody's mouth. But the Mandalorian is pretty interesting because you do have that they have this circular room that the entire walls are a screen, and you could just project anything on there. It actually looks better than a green screen because you can see more detail. It doesn't look as corny as like an actor against a green screen, because then they put in practical effects inside the room, and then it makes it look like a whole set. So it's like a sound stage, but if the walls were TV screens.
But when thinking about it, especially come to the whole idea about the cost, I think the Mandalorian cost a pretty penny.
lot of money. Yeah.
And I would expect that would cost a pretty penny to do something like this for a Marvel movie.
Yeah.
I mean, or just a TV show.
Right.
Because, I mean, it looks like coming from WandaVision to Falcon and Winter Soldier to this, there's a lot of stuff being recycled. And like I said about WandaVision, I did recognize some stage like setup from going back to like the second to last season of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I was like, I've seen this all before. Like, okay.
Right. Yeah. A little bit of recycling going on. But that's okay. I mean, I guess when you own everything, you might as well mix and match a little bit.
But honestly, for this episode, I really can't say much. Just those little tidbits were about the TVA were great. We didn't get too much about Sylvie? Yeah. We didn't get too much about her. I would have loved. I mean, I would have liked this episode a bit more if we can probably have some more flashbacks. To jump into her history. We just did not get any of that. Besides cheap conversation about her supposed relationship with her adopted mother.
Yes, and whether they had significant others or not. Just so, and why they did that too, so that they could interject that Loki being inclined to both persuasions. You caught that scene where he's like, "Oh, a little bit of both." They they literally had that scene just so that he could say, "Oh yeah, I like guys too."
that bugged me, and I'm like, I'm all love for it.
Yeah,
I'm not against it or anything.
No.
That bugged me because that was already improvised, not improvised, but it was already hinted at in Thor Ragnarok.
Right.
And it was really it was blatantly put out there, and it was just one of those things where it's like, use your imagination.
Right. Yeah.
In this sense,
let there be a little bit of mystery. Yeah. No, I agree. Yeah, totally.
So in this, I'm just like, do we really need that?
Yeah, do you need to like hold a sign next time and then just like that's my biggest thing is like, where's the nuance, people? And like you said, where's the mystery? Just let it be kind of open-ended, because it really, you want to be able to maximize the potential, and I just felt like that was a ham-fisted conversation just so that everybody could get their their fan points on about Loki's sexuality. Why the hell would I care about that?
Hey, if you fall in love with something, you fall in love with something. I'll tell you this.
Yeah.
New Mutants. When I watch New Mutants is, of course, a snore. I can see why the movie took forever to come out. But that there was a relationship with, the main character, and then I forget the character, that chick that played in Game of Thrones. That played Arya. Is it Arya?
Yeah, Maisie Williams.
Maisie Williams and that character, and that was naturally. That was like platonic to me.
Yeah.
That whole scene about being gay, like being two gay women. It was just very platonic. It was just like it happened the way it happened.
Yes. Yeah.
And it wasn't been like forcing it.
It was organic. Yeah. And it didn't. Yeah, exactly. It didn't have to be like this thing. It was just a part of the characters in the story. And there he is. We've just been riffing while you were gone.
I was trying to
keep variant, dude.
I was trying to keep up. Sorry about that, guys.
You're good, man. You're good.
Oh man.
But yeah, we were just saying basically that, this has been kind of a snooze. We didn't really have a whole lot to add after the scene where they run around in that play set that they were in. You know,
Just the one room stage.
yeah, the one room city.
Let me, just in case people don't know, let me just help them out.
Oh yeah,
real
yeah,
quick with
yeah.
that.
There you go. You can see we're not, no audio. Make sure there's no audio.
No audio.
Yeah.
Same scene over and over and over and over.
Yeah.
It's like, come on, guys. Are you trying?
And then stare off into the green screen. Look amazed. Yeah.
No. The word. Okay, so this was my issue with the green screen. I don't usually mind green screens. It's bad acting in front of green screens that make the green screen that much worse.
That's fair.
It's like, I could tell that's not a real boulder. That's fine. But when you back up and you jump and the boulder still hasn't fallen.
Yeah, I did see that. Yes, I did notice that too. And that was one of the things. I think that was when like the tower was falling.
Yes.
Yeah,
and that's partially on editing because they're supposed to be the ones to sync it up.
Right.
Also, you run through all of this debris, everything's falling, and okay, cool. Why did Loki only save them from one building? I mean, if you could do that, couldn't you have just used your power to deflect the asteroid from hitting the arc?
That would have been a smart choice. Yeah.
Well, look at that footage again to make sure.
Yeah. No. You just stand there and look surprised. Why is he standing so widely too?
Because he finally gets to be a superhero in a superhero flick.
He shitted on himself because death is on its way. Look at that. Let's see. Oh
no way!
Oh,
that's terrible.
Okay.
All right. Fuck this episode. All right, whatever.
I guess we're just you know what? It's over. I like how Sylvie just walks away too. That's like half of the audience right there.
That's half the audience. So yeah, no.
Come on, Tom.
It definitely did end with all of the excessive. I saw it too. We all saw it. Same conversation. We don't need to talk about it again. We've talked about it already. I can't really think of there was an interesting discussion. I remember. I don't know if you guys talked about this while I was off. The discussion that they had in the train car before Randy takes her nap and wakes up to drunken Loki being obnoxious. But the discussion that they had about, who they've had and if they had
we were literally just talking about that.
You guys did have that conversation. Okay. A little bit of both.
What are your thoughts?
I felt like he was hitting on her and it was weird.
Yeah.
I could see that a little bit. Yeah. I could see
like
that.
I'm in love with myself.
I mean, he's definitely in love with himself, but it was the notion of, you know what? I actually can't. To be honest, I don't know if it was the notion of the narcissism of it, if it was the whole, oh my God, here we go. Are you the good guy or the bad guy? Somebody always has to fall in love,
Yeah.
That's funny because I had a conversation with my wife not too long ago about being narcissistic and why narcissistic people have trouble falling in love unless they really fall in love with someone close to themselves because they cannot love anything but themselves. So that's just the perfect example of the best partner they can be with, or why they cannot be in a steady relationship because it's nowhere close to being anything like them. And for Loki, maybe he can play around with someone, but the idea of how brilliant himself or a different variant could be, why not?
Yeah. No, I mean, I can understand that. I don't think Disney's going to go that route. They seem to want to stay away from relationships and all that stuff and not get anywhere near it because, they don't want to take a stance on anything, which, whatever you can lose billions if you do the wrong thing. So
it's true, which is true.
I mean, so I understand. I don't think that they're going to take that route where, anybody falls in love. I just don't think that that's going to be the thing. It doesn't seem like it's on brand for this, for the way things go nowadays. It seems like, that would be a sort of like belittling to Sylvie, like why would she have to fall in love with Loki? Can't she just be her own character on her own? Without having to be attached to a man.
What if they find out in episode 6 that this all works like the movie The One, and they should have been killing each other the whole time?
Why didn't they do that? That would have been awesome.
I thought it was going somewhere close to there when we were introduced to Randy.
Man. Could you imagine if Randy Sylvie Loki, if Randy Sylvie Loki was was jumping across timelines to kill Lokis so that she can increase her power? I don't care that they ripped off Jet Li's movie. I would have been so down for that. Oh man.
With its own twist.
With its own twist. Yeah, jumping through time.
Well, the twist would be that it's now a part of the Marvel Cinematic Series. Like I did that Night Cinematic Universe Cinematic Series. But I think that would have been a little too cliche for whatever they have in store for us next.
I would take cliche over boring.
No, I definitely would take cliche. That's really my whole point. I would rather be going through. I've seen this story before.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's why I enjoy Guns and Kimbo so much.
Yeah. Fair. That is fair. Yeah. It wasn't boring. That's true.
No, it was not.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you guys. I think that we've said all that needs to be said, and of course it ends on a cliffhanger. And of course there are no questions for us to ask except for, we want to know more about the TVA and the variants that are employed there. But I have a feeling that that's probably not going to get delved into too much as well, because the problem with this concept too is if they dig too deep, they're going to start contradicting stuff.
Yep.
And I think that they don't want to dig too deep on things because then it opens more questions. I think that they realized that WandaVision was a little bit too
over the top, too introspective.
Yeah, speculatory. It gave people too much to think about. And they were like, no, we can't have that. We can't have people wanting, something out of this. Like we just have to tell them a story that they're just going to eat their popcorn and shut up about. So I think that they're going to go forward and they're not going to be creating series that make you think about stuff.
Right. I feel like you just said the people who wrote and created this are the type of people who go to a deli and then tell the deli person behind the counter, no, that's too much meat.
Yeah. A little bit less, please. Can you take it off of my sandwich and then put it back into the thing of meat that you have there?
And you know what? That shit scares me, dude. Because if this is the same dude that's going to be working on Doctor Strange and a Multiverse of Madness.
No, wait. I want to qualify what I just said really quick though.
Go for it.
Because there is a time and a place to ask for less, but you don't leave it in the tray at the restaurant. That is my point.
Yeah, and I would say that maybe you could ask for less before you have them put it on your sandwich. You know what I mean?
Kind of what I mean. Like there are ways to do this. You don't. Right. You don't wait until it's done and then think to yourself, because that's kind of what I'm feeling. Yeah, this feels stripped down. Mm-hmm. This feels stripped down, and that's more so what I'm getting at.
Ooh, you know what's funny about you saying that? It's like they basically been stripping down her clothes in this whole episode. Like she's losing the horns, she's losing the jacket,
true. Yeah,
she's losing that shit. I'm like,
yeah, they're just getting naked in slow motion.
Okay. So that actually takes me back to another thought I had at the beginning. The opening song. So notice the theme or the opening scene song changed. Opening sing song. Anyway. And it was a song named Demons by Haley Kiyoko. I think I've heard of her once or twice. But the song is called Demons. And it references, the demons inside of your head and all those kind of things, like fighting your own demons. Mm-hmm. I think that in itself, now, if we look at it from that aspect, this was a pretty decent episode because they kind of centered around the Loki being his own demon, or Randy being her own demon. Their own vices. However,
yeah, I think that's being charitable, and I think that is somebody who is coping would say that. No, man, you just don't get it. It's a really deep metaphor, having to face your demons and integrating your shadow self, like Jung said, man.
Jung said, theory for me, I thought that was going to have a lot more to it. That's kind of where I started the episode. And then I realized I feel like that was really just for her enchantment situation. Like she is the demon in your head when she enchants you.
Right. Yeah. again, nothing below the surface on that.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, it was all right on.
Yeah.
Topical. It was as topical as icy hot, y'all.
Yeah.
The icy hot.
Yeah.
That's right. Anybody ever ask you, hey, what's a topical? Icy hot.
Yep. No subdermal here.
Mhm.
But yeah, do you guys have anything else before we wrap up?
Yeah, pretty much.
Pretty much. Kind of a snore. Okay. Well, yeah, y'all good with wrapping up here?
I am good. I'm good with it. I don't have anything else to say. I know how they say, how the old folks say, you don't have anything nice to say. I haven't said anything nice for most of the episode.
Yeah, fair. Yeah. Well, I will say that I liked the concept of Lamentis.
Yeah.
I wish we could have seen more of it. That's all I'll say. That's
I would like to see more of the train.
Yeah.
More of the train.
I would like to see more of the train. And since we're throwing positive, I like how you did
Sure.
that, Nick.
Yeah,
Let's throw some positives out.
Yeah.
I want to thank and say I do still appreciate those who created and put in the hard work to put this out for us to criticize. I want to add to that. Ha 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 ha. These are my feelings. Ha 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 ha. And
yeah.
And that's the most fun I had in episode 3.
There you go. All right. Well, thank you so much, you guys, for listening. We very much appreciate it. Please consider giving us a thumbs up on our Facebook and our YouTube page, Screen Time Continuum. Consider giving us a subscription too. That would really help us out. We're trying to grow our channel. We're a small, humble channel that likes to critique movies and TV, but with your help, we could be Siskel and Ebert one day. We'll have to add another person, but
Siskel, Ebert, and the red drape behind him.
There you go. I'll be the
red drape is iconic.
Okay. Yeah. But yes, thank you so much, you guys. We really appreciate it. We very much appreciate anytime you guys take a listen to our show. We hope that you like it. And please consider giving us a follow. And if you want to check out what Keelan does on his podcast, If Numbers Could Talk, he just had an episode about success. And at what age success reaches the average person, not just the average person, the extraordinary people, the people that perhaps find success at early ages or even later ages. And it was an interesting conversation. You should definitely go check that out.
And I think we all need that too.
Absolutely.
In this time and period.
Yes. So go check him out at If Numbers Could Talk. He's on the Thinkering Talks page as well, but he has his own Facebook page and YouTube page. Please go make sure that you support him. We got Dijon, the Mustard, is starting to take over Twitch by storm with his first stream last night. He's going to be doing Tuesdays at 10 p.m. Is that correct?
10 p.m. and I'm going to be doing Thursdays at 10 p.m. as well.
Awesome. Okay, so Tuesdays and Thursdays at 10 p.m. Right now, he is streaming Conquer, the original, basically the remastered version for Xbox, and we checked it out last night. It was a very fun time. So go check him out. His Twitch page is Strawberries and Coffee. Strawberries and Coffee.
Like In and Out.
Yes, that's there right. You go. Strawberries and Coffee on Twitch. Make sure you go follow him. I think he set up a YouTube page too, so make sure you go subscribe to that. And yeah, check him out Tuesdays, Thursdays at 10 p.m. I got a podcast called Exofathom. We're doing episodes Mondays and Fridays at 8 p.m. Friday's episode is going to be about the jinn. If you are not aware, the jinn are basically the legends in the Arabic tradition that we get the genies from. So that'll be an interesting conversation. That's on Friday at 8 p.m.
And it won't be Will Smith either.
And it won't be Will Smith.
Will it be Robin Williams? That's all what I was going to ask.
Well, I mean, he is the genie. So yeah, we gotta make sure we give a shout out to Robin Williams on that one.
God bless his soul.
Yeah, absolutely. But if you're a purist at heart and just want to hear us blabber on about TVs and movies and critique things for which we have no credentials to critique, thank you so much for taking this trip with us through the Screen Time Continuum. For Screen Time Continuum, I am Nick.
I am Keelan.
I'm the Mustard.
Good night, everyone.